negative, if you have all this negativity in your mind, then Ramadan fasts are going to be definitely difficult for you. So this mental preparation for Ramadan fast is very important. Mentally, we should have a positive outlook for Ramadan fast, and then it will have it more manageable, inshallah. And if we have negativity in our approach to Ramadan, then there will be nocebo effect, and due to the nocebo effect, we'll have more difficulty in dealing with our Ramadan fast. And actually, if you see, we are designed to fast. The human body is designed to fast biologically also, metabolically also. So the body is full of fuel, and you won't starve during a daily Ramadan fast. It's not like we are doing a continuous 72-hour fast or longer fast. It is just 15, 16-hour fast max. And this number of hours of fasting, our body is totally attuned to it. I mean, naturally, it's made to withstand such so many hours of fasting. So we don't have to worry and nocebo ourselves if we have a healthy liver. Of course, suppose somebody is already having some chronic illnesses, some liver problems or some other diabetes or other issues, then they may have to take medical advice before fasting. But for a normal person who doesn't have any chronic illnesses, then he doesn't have to worry at all. Biologically, there is not going to be any harm in fasting for a normal person. Because if you analyze the biology, in our body, we have 100 grams of glycogen stored in the liver. Every normal human being, normal adult will have 100 grams of glycogen in the liver and 500 grams of glycogen in the muscle. And totally it is 600 grams of glycogen. And each gram of glycogen can give you 4 kilocalories of energy. So that will be totally 2,400 kilocalories. 2,400 calories of totally energy in the body. And that's the normal average requirement of energy for a healthy adult. So whatever energy requirements a person needs in one day, already that energy is already stored in his body, in the liver and in the muscle, in the form of glycogen. And apart from that, we eat suhoor. So whatever calories we are taking at suhoor time, that also adds up to it. And then apart from that, we have fatty acids available for organs such as the heart and the muscle to use indirectly. So the heart and muscle, they can use the energy from fat through fatty acids directly. They don't need glucose for their metabolism. And then liver has ability to make ketones. So these ketones are actually, they act as fuel for the brain. So pardon me if somebody is not from a biology background, just try to understand that these are the ketones and fatty acids. These are the things which are made from the metabolism of fat in the body. So once the fat is broken down, then these things are formed. And then liver also has the ability to make more glycogen from lactate released by muscle due to the Cori cycle. So because of all these biological mechanisms which we have in our body, we don't have to worry at all. Nobody has to worry at all. If you have a healthy liver and if you don't have any chronic diseases, you are not going to have any issue of low calories or low energy in fasting. Inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So preparing physically and metabolically, without a doubt, the best way to prepare the body to optimally use fuels during a fast is to fast. That is, the best way to prepare physically and metabolically before Ramadan is to fast before Ramadan. Fasting before Ramadan, uh, it makes your body more attuned and it gives a warm up like exercise to your body enzymes before itself, so that when Ramadan arrives, your body will be totally used to fasting and it will be metabolically adjusted to utilize their glycogen stores from the liver and the fat stores in your body properly for your energy needs. So this fasting before Ramadan can be done in a phase-like manner. That is, first you can do skipping of lunch, And then we can do wet fasting. That is, avoid all solid food. Only you can take water and other liquids at Ramadan from starting of the day till the sunset. Then next we can start fasting during Sunnah days. That is Mondays and Thursdays, or the 13th, 14th, and 15th of each lunar month. And apart from this, the fasting in the month of Shaban. So the if we make a habit of fasting even before Ramadan itself, few months before Ramadan at least, if we start fasting and doing all these things, then our body will be already attuned to the fasting, and Ramadan will be much easier. Suppose somebody suddenly arrives, like it's like without warm up, you're trying to go to a gym and lift heavy weight, you'll have definitely problem. But if suppose you have been lifting from before itself, you have been doing warm up and other exercises before, and then you go and lift weights, then it won't cause much problem. Your body and your muscles will be attuned to it. So same way for Ramadan fasting also. So next comes the spiritual preparation for Ramadan. The most important thing is looking forward to welcome Ramadan. If we are looking forward to Ramadan, if we are happy that Ramadan is coming, if we are cheerful that Ramadan is coming, if we are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Ramadan is coming, if we are doing du'as to Allah, if we are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala earnestly that, Ya Allah, make us reach Ramadan from many months before Ramadan itself. That is also mentioned in the ahadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to recite the dua of Allahumma ballighna Ramadan from the month of Rajab, 2 months before starting of Ramadan. So that is spiritually and mentally and psychologically preparing yourself for arrival of Ramadan, welcoming Ramadan. So once you are spiritually welcoming Ramadan, your body and your mind, your psychology, everything will get adjusted to the welcoming of Ramadan. And when Ramadan comes, it will be very easy for you. And it's known from the Salaf that they used to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 6 months before Ramadan to make them reach Ramadan. And then they used to call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 6 months after Ramadan to accept the ibadat they have done during Ramadan. So their entire year used to go, it used to revolve around Ramadan. You see, they used to first of all anticipate the coming of Ramadan, and once Ramadan had passed, then they used to worry that has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted our fast and our ibadah in Ramadan or not. And then they used to cry for acceptance of those ibadat and those fastings and tarawis and tilawat and du'as of Ramadan. So somebody who is so much spiritually attuned to Ramadan, definitely their Ramadans will be much, much pleasant and much, much healthier and easier, inshallah ta'ala. And then one of their du'as used to be, Oh Allah, keep me safe until Ramadan, keep Ramadan safe for me and accept it from me. And part of the preparation of spiritual preparation of Ramadan is, as I mentioned, fasting in the month of Shaban. That is 1 month before Ramadan. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to fast like he used to never fast in other months so much. It's mentioned in Sahih Muslim. And then also in another hadith, it's mentioned, the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there is a month concerning which many people are heedless between Rajab and Ramadan. It is the month in which people's deeds are taken up to the Lord of the worlds, and I would like my deeds to be taken up while I am fasting. So that's why Rasulullah used to fast more in Shaban also. And if we make it a habit every year to increase our fasting in Shaban, then Ramadan fast will be much easier for us, inshallah. And then apart from the fasting in Shaban, also there are other ways to prepare spiritually oneself for Ramadan. That is, one thing is we can read the various ahadiths about the fadail of Ramadan, about the importance of Ramadan. There are many ahadiths about this. So if we read all these ahadiths, ideally if we sit down with our families during the during the ending of Shaban or at the beginning of Ramadan, and if we read these ahadiths together about the various benefits, spiritual aspects of Ramadan, and how much hasanat we are going to get by fasting and by Taraweeh and by different ibadat in Ramadan, and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards us immensely during Ramadan, then definitely it will help us to attune ourselves spiritually for Ramadan. And also another good way of spiritual preparation, spiritually preparing for oneself for Ramadan is that we set our goals for Ramadan. Because without setting proper goals, we are not going to achieve anything much. Just it will become a routine. Mornings we will fast, evening at the most we'll do some tarawih and some dua, and that's it. We won't be able to do much ibadat, much worship. So, if we really want to achieve something extraordinary during Ramadan, if we want to really make this Ramadan our best Ramadan yet, if we want to really make it a life-changing Ramadan for ourselves and our families, then we have to set our goals for Ramadan. Today is the first Ramadan, and we have got good time. Today is the high time that we sit down today and make our goals, our individual goals as well as goals for all our family, at what we are going to achieve in this Ramadan. How many Taraweeh we are going to attend, where we are going to attend, and how many extra nawafil we are going to read during this Ramadan, and how many Qurans we are going to do the complete tilawa, and how much translation we are going to read, and how much zikr we are going to do, how many duas, how much time we'll be spending for dua, and how much sadaqat and charity we are going to do this Ramadan, and how much social service and helping the other people are we going to do in this Ramadan, and how many tahajjud prayers we are going to do this Ramadan. All these goals we have to set. Once we set all these goals, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide us to achieve them and make it easy for us. So this is also a very good way of uh, preparing for Ramadan. And also we need to make our list of ibadat and the du'as also. What all du'as we need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to make lists, and then we have to focus on those things during the time of du'a. And we have to understand that this Ramadan is the most valuable time for us. If we are going to waste our time during Ramadan, then we are going to miss a lot of spiritual and physical benefits. So, with this mental outlook and spiritual outlook, if we approach Ramadan, then inshallah our entire Ramadan experience will be very, very positive and productive, inshallah. And then now let's come to the maintaining energy levels during the fast. Well, to maintain energy throughout the fast, particularly for those who are going outside for work, and those who have to attend classes, and who have to study for exams and other things, and even housewives who have to work hard in Ramadan also, they'll spend hours cooking in kitchen during the hot summer hours also. So how to maintain energy levels? So first of all, we need to have proper and healthy suhoor. That's very critical. Skipping suhoor is not an option. Second is if we if we are feeling low energy levels during the day in Ramadan, then it will help. Paradoxically, it will help if we take a walk. A short brisk walk can actually provide you more cellular energy, because the muscle glycogen, it can be used only by the muscle, but once it uses the glycogen, then as a byproduct, it will produce lactate. And this lactate can then go back to the liver, to the blood, and then be converted into glucose for the rest of the body through the Cori cycle. So, I mean, all these biochemical mechanisms are there in the body, which will enable you to use your glycogen stored in the muscle for the rest of the body also, if you do some light brisk walking or some light exercise. So this is one way of feeling more energetic during Ramadan. And the other thing people do is they can take supplements. That is particularly those people who have really hard work to do physical work during Ramadan, or those who really have weak bodies and they don't have much stored energy in their bodies, then they can take supplements like L-carnitine or medium chain triglyceride oils. They can take uh, this at Sahur time. So this will enable them to use their fat stores properly during the fasting for energy purposes. So, but before taking any supplements, better to consult if somebody is having some diseases or somebody is over 40 years of age, better for them to consult a physician before using any supplements to rule out any other effects on their bodies. So next we will go to Ramadan headaches. What is the reason for headaches in Ramadan? Generally, it can be due to low blood sugar or low fuel for the brain. Second is low blood pressure. Third is caffeine withdrawal. That is somebody is having habit of drinking coffee or tea daily. Then suddenly they cannot drink that in Ramadan. Then they'll have headaches. And then fourth is sleep deprivation, because in Ramadan we tend to have less sleep. So these and one of these or a combination are generally a reason for our headaches in Ramadan. And people who have migraines, they outside of Ramadan, they tend to have more migraines during Ramadan fasting. So they need to consult their doctor prior to Ramadan itself and try to work out how they're going to manage their headaches in Ramadan, migraines in Ramadan. Either they can use painkiller, analgesic skin patches, or other things. They can arrange for these things. And also smokers, they have withdrawal symptoms in Ramadan, and that can also cause headache. So let's see how we can deal with caffeine, coffee or tea withdrawal, because it's a very common thing. I mean, a lot of people drink tea or coffee daily, multiple cups, and in Ramadan they really have difficulty in testing in the initial few days. The withdrawal causes headache, depressed mood, difficulty in concentrating on the work, and the irritability. So this can be dealt with in three ways. Either you can taper off slowly, taking the uptake of coffee and tea before Ramadan. At least if you start 10 days before, you can taper it off. Second is you can drink your usual cup of tea or coffee at Suhoor time. Third is you can consume extended release caffeine formulations at Suhoor time. This will be available in some places. You can find out if they are available at your food supplement stores. So extended release caffeine capsules. If you take it, then the whole day slowly the caffeine will be released in your body through the capsule, and that will keep your body active and avoid headaches. So how to taper off caffeine? What you can do is 10 days before you start, decrease the dose of coffee or tea you take by half for 2 days. Then the next 2 days you make it 1/4, and then the other 2 days you can make it 1/8, and then afterwards you can just last 3-4 days you can go without coffee or tea at all. So if you start this before Ramadan, 10 days before at least, then your body will get adjusted to it, and you won't get headaches in Ramadan, inshallah. So next is sleep management. Sleep is generally impaired in Ramadan, and also you have to remember that when we decrease our calorie intake, then our body requirement of sleep also decreases. So if a little bit of decrease in sleep hours doesn't have much problem on your body, okay, because anyhow we are decreasing the calorie intake in Ramadan. And those who cannot straight hours, they cannot have 7-8 hours sleep, and they're feeling really tired in the day, then they can have a polyphasic sleep schedule. Like that is, they can sleep in different installments. Like suppose after Taraweeh to between Sahar, they can sleep some 5 hours. Then they can try to sleep the rest 1 hour or 1.5 hour after Zuhar, or after Asr, or maybe even some people sleep after the Iftar also before Taraweeh. Or if that is not possible, then at least you can, and if you have to go to job and you cannot sleep in any other time, then you can try to get some sleep after Fajr also 1 hour or so, 1.5 hours. So if that way, if you supplement your sleep, then it will be much easier. And then if that is not possible, then at least you can take short naps. Short naps during the day, even if taken for like 10-15 minutes also, that also will refresh your body and will help you in focusing on your work the rest of the day. So like after Zohar, just because anyhow you're not having lunch, so at lunchtime, just 10-15 minutes you can just lie down in a corner in the masjid, or maybe in your office you can just relax in your chair and go in a deep state of sleep-like state, and 10 minutes at least for during the lunchtime. So this way you can have or rest for our body a little bit, and mentally and physically also. And this each one has his own schedule. Yeah, you can optimize your schedule according to your daily jobs. And then also it's important to focus on increasing the quality of sleep rather than just quantity. Because if you optimize the quality of sleep, then the number of required hours of sleep will be less actually, and you'll get proper rest. So how to increase the quality of sleep is, when number one is no use of any gadgets or phones before sleeping. That is, once after iftar, you check whatever you want to check, your messages and your phones and all that. And after Taraweeh, try not to take your phone unless it's an emergency. Try not to take your mobile or your gadgets. Okay, just after Taraweeh, come back, off your gadgets and just go to sleep. So that will help you. At least 1 to 2 hours before sleeping, there should not be any gadget use. Any screen time should be zero, because the blue light from the screens, it disrupts your body sleep patterns. And not sleeping on a full stomach is also important to have a good quality of sleep. Because if you are eating after Taraweeh again and filling your stomach, and then you try to sleep, then you'll have difficulty in sleeping, and you'll have reflux and other issues. And then following a regular schedule is also important. That is, so how many hours you are sleeping, try to stick to those hours and not change every day your schedule of sleeping, your timing of sleep. Because then your body gets adjusted to those hours, and then it becomes easier to fall asleep early and have a good sound sleep. And then fourth is try to maintain lower room temperatures, because still it is summer is beginning now, and if it is hot, then you won't be able to get proper sound sleep. So try to decrease the temperature in the room and go to sleep that way. So next is proper hydration. This is very critical for having a proper healthy Ramadan. Attempting to hyperhydrate by drinking a lot of water is not ideal. Just if you are drinking plain water and lots of it during the Sahar time, then it won't benefit, because within few hours you'll be passing a lot of urine and then all the water will go. So you need to no need to over drink. I mean, no need to over distend your stomach. Just drink as much as you need to drink, and maybe around 500-600 ml of water. Or you at child time, what you can do is you can drink water in multiple phases, not just at the end of Sahar, but even suppose you are waking up around 1 hour before the Sahar time for preparing your dinner, for preparing your meals, and then doing some dua and all that, and then you eat Sahar. So as soon as you get up from sleep, drink some 1.5 glass of water, and then afterwards, after Sahar, you can drink more. So suddenly you won't over distend your stomach with water. And then also to retain the water in the body is important. So water retention in the body will be more if you take electrolytes like, and particularly sodium, and also glucose along with the water, not just plain water. So that is if you are taking food which is having a good quantity of sodium, that is salt, normal amount of salt is there in your food, and it also has good amount of calories. And then if you are drinking water, and if you are taking some milk or buttermilk or skimmed milk or kefir, All these things, they increase the amount of water absorbed in your body and retained in the body for longer time. So, and also if somebody really has problem of dehydration during Ramadan, and suppose they are working outside in sun, or they have to go out in sun more often, then it's good idea to have ORS, or oral rehydration salt solutions. So the ORS solution you can make and drink in Sahar 1 glass, or you can drink buttermilk with some salt added to it. Then it helps a lot. And however, if you have somebody is having high blood pressure, then they need to avoid increasing the salt uptake. And also after iftar, don't we should not drink too much water suddenly. If you drink too much plain water suddenly after iftar, then it will dilute the blood, and the electrolyte levels in the blood will go down, and you will have difficulty. So you need to drink in moderation and take food and water in proper quantities. And if somebody is really having dehydrated fasting the whole day, then they should take some electrolyte supplementation in iftar time also. So these are figures they are showing comparison of different liquids which can increase the hydration in the body. So you can see here the highest level is for the oral rehydration solution and the skimmed milk. And even full fat milk also has good level of hydration. So if you take these things in Sahar time and even iftar time, then the body will be very well hydrated. And if you take colas and other things, cool drinks and outside this juices and all that, then better to avoid those things because they will actually have negative effect on your body hydration levels. So next, coming to what is an ideal suhoor. You see, importance of suhoor is a lot in the hadith. Rasulullah has stressed upon us to take suhoor, and he said that there is blessing in it, and you will find a lot of hadiths for that. And uh, and also it's recommended by Rasulullah to delay taking the suhoor till the last. I mean, some people what they do is they just have their meal at around 1 or 2 o'clock in the night and then they sleep. They don't want to get up for suhoor because they cannot get up that time. They want to sleep. So that's not a very good idea because that is not according to Sunnah also, and it is not proper for metabolism also. So better to delay the suhoor as much as possible till few minutes before the start of Fajr time, and that's also mentioned in many hadiths, as we see here. Rasulullah said that my nation will continue in goodness so long as they hasten to break their fast and delay the pre-fasting meal. So hastening or making iftar quickly as soon as the sun sets and taking the suhoor till before the starting of the Fajr time is the ideal situation for our body also and for our practice of Sunnah also. And so, what are the goals at Suhoor? Proper hydration. That's a intake of water and electrolytes is most important part. Then replenishing the liver and muscle glycogen, that is important, and having sufficient fuel to get through the day. And ideal suhoor should, without excessive restriction, have a mix of healthy proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins. All this should be there in suhoor. So you can take and also having carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates helps. Instead of taking simple carbohydrates or sugary things, avoid sugary things in suhoor and iftar also. You should take complex carbohydrates which will have longer release of glucose in your body. So for each, and also we should not overeat at suhoor. Like if you're eating too much, stuffing it too much, then you'll have a lot of problem for the first few hours. And if suppose you plan to sleep after Fajr, then you won't be able to sleep also if you overeat, and you'll have tummy upsets and other problems. And also need to avoid oily and spicy food and or over salty food at the Sahar time and even at iftar time also actually. So some examples of food that can be taken is Greek yogurt or kefir, just full of protein and also good for hydration. And you can take milk or buttermilk. You can take dates. Dates are very good for seher and also iftar, and it is going to sunnah also. And you can take eggs and meat, chicken, oats. All these things are good. And you can take the normal, whatever normal diet you take. You just make sure that you take healthy diet. And dates help in replenishing the glycogen stores in the liver very fast. So red diets are ideal for also Sahar and Iftar both. And ideal Iftar also has to have balance of all the nutrients. We should not take too much sweets, too much fried foods, samosas, and dahi bade, and all this stuff which we take, or a lot of biryanis and other things, try to avoid such dishes in Ramadan at all, and try to focus on simple diet and good, nutritious, healthy diet, and preferably homemade food. And also, what's important is that our focus in Ramadan should not be on feasting, it should be on fasting. Ramadan is a month of fasting. Instead of that, now we have made it into a month of feasting, right? People are after Halim, people are after biryani, after dahi bade, after various cultural preparations which we do in Ramadan. And then they forget that actually it was about fasting, not about feasting. Our women spend hours before the iftar time. They don't have time to pray, they don't have time to do dua also, and they are suffering in summer heat near the stove. I mean, this is not good at all. We need to have some consideration for our family. We should try to plan a very simple iftar schedule for our families, so that our women folk can also take some rest in Ramadan, and our stomachs also can take some rest instead of having to digest all the spicy and oily and fried foods. So we need to and generally we tend to overeat at iftar. That is not good at all. Uh, the good way to uh, not overeat during iftar time is just break your fast with some dates and fruit and some water. And then go for Maghrib prayer. Come back after Maghrib, then eat. So then you won't be stuffing suddenly everything now. So that will not cause your stomach upsets and other issues. And eating too much at night is not good also. Too late, particularly after Taraweeh, if you want to eat something, then you eat something light, not very heavy things in the after Taraweeh. And try to take care of the protein content, because next topic is maintaining muscle mass in Ramadan. That is for that protein uptake is very important. So focus on taking around 1.6 to 2.2 grams of per kg of body weight of protein. If you want to really not lose protein during Ramadan, at least it should be 1 to 1.5 gram per kg. And also there should be sufficient calorie intake. And regarding those people who are used to going to gym or who are going to do exercise regularly, then remember that no, you should not have a plan of goal of building new muscle in Ramadan. Okay, just to have a goal of maintaining the muscle whatever you have gained till now, and to retain the muscle mass which you have built up already before Ramadan. Just 1/9 of the original training volume will be enough. You won't lose the muscle you have built already. So that will mean that at least 1 to 2 weekly sessions, if you do of exercise, that will be enough for you to maintain your muscle mass. And adequate sleep and recovery is also important in Ramadan to have your muscle mass proper maintained. And when to train, that is important to not to dehydrate yourself during exercise or training. Some people they do it after Maghrib, after they break the fast, take some protein shake or something and some fruits, and then pray Maghrib and then do exercise, and then they have the dinner. Or some people do workout after Tarawih. Some people do exercise immediately after the Fajr prayer. So depending upon your situation, but the problem is if you're doing while fasting, if you are doing exercise, then if you dehydrate, then you will have problem throughout the day of fasting. So just adjust to your body needs and your time schedules, how to do it, and plan it accordingly. Next is constipation is a very common problem in Ramadan. That occurs because we don't take proper fiber, we don't take water in Ramadan, our sleep is disturbed, and we don't take our coffee and tea. That all causes problem with constipation. So how to avoid it? See, increase fruit intake, including the dates. Dates are rich in fiber, and fresh fruits are rich in fiber. Take good amount of fruits and vegetables. That will increase your fiber content. And prunes, if you take, suppose that doesn't help, then you can take prunes. Prunes, that is dried aloo bukharas, which we say. So this prunes are very good for treatment of constipation. So if you take 2, 3 prunes before sleeping, then inshallah you won't have problem of constipation. And suppose you are not able to do this, you can take chia seeds in water or yogurt. That also helps. If that all doesn't help, all these things, then you can take some fiber supplements like psyllium husk or isabgol, what we say. So isabgol powder will be there. You can just take it, mix it in a glass of water and drink before sleeping in the night. So inshallah, that will take care of the constipation. And still, if it is not resolved, then you need to see your doctor. And now coming to the exemptions from fasting, Rasulullah said that one who omits the fast of even one day in Ramadan without any concession or being ill, then he will not be able to make up for it in rewards, even if he were to fast for the entire rest of his life. So, without proper excuse, without Sharai excuse, we are not supposed to leave our fasting. That's very important. So, let's see who are excused from fasting in Ramadan. One is those people who are not required to fast at all. That is the children who are before puberty. They can fast if they want. If they are elder children and like about 10 years of age, they are healthy. They can fast without any problem. Then encourage them to fast. But they are not having obligatory to fast. It's not obligatory upon them to fast. Second is those people for whom it is unlawful to fast. So women who are in their menses or those post-delivery bleeding, these women, it will be haram for them to fast. So they'll be exempted anyhow. They have to do qada fasting afterwards. The third category is those people who are excused in certain conditions. That is, a pregnant or lactating woman, if they have a reasonable fear that fasting will cause harm to their own health or their baby's health or life, then they can take exemption from fasting. Not every pregnant lady and not every lactating woman, breastfeeding woman will have exemption of fasting automatically. Generally, people think that it's automatic exemption. No, we need to have a reasonable reason, reasonable fear that if fasting will be there, then it can harm the lady's life or a child's life. So better to consult your doctor, your gynecologist, and then discuss with them regarding fasting, whether they can fast or not healthily, and then decide. And second is a sick person. Anyone who is sick, and there are conditions for the sick person. We'll see in the next slide. And then third is a sharai musafir. Anyone who is traveling outside his city for more than 48 miles, then he is exempted from fasting. He can do qada afterwards. So and the fourth condition is fourth person is old, very old person. That is a Sheikh Fani, we call it in Arabic. That is an old, decrepit person who is very weak, very feeble, very senile. He cannot fast at all. Then such a person also will be exempted. They can give fidya. And conditions for exemption from fasting in sickness is that is every sickness is not an exemption from fasting. Please remember this. Some people think that even mild sickness, they are exempted from fasting. That is even for mild headache or mild fever or mild cold and cough. People, they think that they'll be exempted from fasting. Or every diabetic is exempted, every hypertensive is exempted, every heart patient is exempted. No, it's not correct. There are conditions in Sharia for which exemption is there. That is, first condition is if one has reasonable fear that his sickness will worsen or recovery will be delayed by fasting, and it will make it very difficult for him to fast, right? So only in such condition the sickness will be exempted. The will become exemption for his fasting. So it will worsen any sickness, any amount of sickness which will worsen the disease due to fasting. Okay, or the recovery will be delayed and it will cause undue hardship to the person. Then this will be a condition. This will be a proper reason for exemption. And how you can determine that reasonable fear is that number one, you can have consultation with upright Muslim doctor who understands the importance of Ramadan and fasting and all the details. So he will be able to guide you properly, right? And you have to use your proper judgment also that regarding the doctor. So once you go to a good upright expert doctor and he guides you, he can tell you whether to fast or not. And then second way is by past experience. Suppose somebody is having some chronic disease and he knows that if he fasts, he will really have a lot of complications and he will suffer. Then with the experience, he can discontinue the fast, leave the fasting. And third is clear sense. Clear signs are there, right? Like patient having severe vomiting, severe diarrhea, bleeding, feeling faint, already dehydrated. So such people are really don't need to go to a doctor. They are exempted from fasting or they can break their fast if they are fasting because there are clear signs of worsening health. And then fourth is the common knowledge. That is, everyone knows that such a person, if he fasts, he will have a lot of problems. So that also is a good enough reason for exemption of fasting. But overall, we should understand that if somebody is having real reason, then he may be exempted from fasting. And another thing, let me tell you that if suppose somebody is having a threat to their life if they fast, like a diabetic patient on insulin, if they fast, they're going into hypoglycemia, low sugar, low blood sugar, and they are fainting. And then that time it will be wajib for them not to fast. It will be wajib for them to break their fast immediately, right? They should not think that no, we will wait for iftar. So just 1 hour is remaining. Let me just try to handle like that. No, don't do that. It is not going to get you reward. It is actually sinful because you are risking your life itself, and that is protecting your life is a responsibility from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala given to you. Okay, so fasting, you take the exemption of breaking the fast or not to fast when such situations come, and that becomes wajib that time. So, and then next, patients with chronic diseases, it is advisable for patients with chronic diseases to consult a doctor before Ramadan itself, so that they won't have problem during fasting, and they can adjust their doses according to that. And diabetics also, they have to consult the doctor and keep checking their blood sugar in different times. And if possible, they can get a continuous glucose monitor. That is an option nowadays, which will show you continuous glucose readings during the day when fasting. And hypertensive patients also, they should check their blood pressure regularly during the fast to make sure they are not becoming hypotensive and fainting. Because if they are already on antihypertensive medication, then because of low water uptake, they may decrease their blood pressure too much and faint. So this all things we need to take care of all these things. And the common protocols for those who really struggle to fast are that optimize your sleep protocols, try to sleep around 7 to 8 hours at least, and try to properly educate yourself before Ramadan so that you don't get the nocebo effect. And preparation before Ramadan itself for by fasting in Shaban to make your body used to fasting. And then during Sahar time, try to take 500 to 1000 milligrams of sodium in the food. Okay, for every liter of water you take, and that is you can take ORS or things like that. And then a healthy suhoor with balanced diet is a must. And medium chain triglyceride oil, 1 to 2 tablespoons can be taken, and also L-carnitine 2 tablespoons can be taken at Sahar time to boost your energy levels throughout the day. And these are the things, if we follow, then those who really have weak bodies and who really struggle, then they can fast easily with this protocol. For normal people, those who don't have that much problem, then they don't need to take supplements and all these things. Stick to your normal balanced diet. Avoid doing over dieting in Ramadan. Some people try to lose weight in Ramadan by over dieting in Ramadan also. That is not a good idea. Ramadan is about losing your sins and losing your bad habits, not about losing your weight. Okay, if you lose a weight, that's good, but don't focus on that. Focus on spiritual aspect of Ramadan. That is more important. And if you have proper approach to Ramadan, then Ramadan will make your body also healthy, inshallah, and it will reset your relationship with the food. Nowadays, throughout the year, we are used to overeating always. Three times meals and multiple snacks and juices and chocolates and this and that. So, but Ramadan comes to train us to control our mouth, to control our appetite for tasty food, our desire for tasty food. All this should be controlled. And once we undergo this rigorous training of 1 month of Ramadan, then we should have much more self-control in everything in our life, in every aspect of our life, not only on food, but on every habit, on screen control, on other bad habits. It is very also Ramadan is a good time to quit smoking. Those who are smokers, those who are addicted to pan and tobacco chewing, those who are addicted to gutka, those who are addicted to having other addictions, smoking, other things. It's a very good time to skip forever. Just make a good niyat and start and make a plan that you will not take anything after Ramadan again. And throughout Ramadan, don't touch all these things. Inshallah, you will not have any problem in quitting it fully. So Ramadan is a good time to quit bad habits, quit addictions, take control of your body, take control of your habits, take control of your whole life, and also get Jannah, inshallah. So that was all I had. And acknowledgement is I have taken a lot of the health material in this presentation from the Ultimate Ramadan Guide made by Dr. Abud Bakri from USA. He is a practicing physician and researcher of uh, Ramadan and other metabolic and its metabolic effect on the body. And he has published this book. So I have benefited from this a lot actually during this presentation. So with this, I end my presentation. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasul.
Dr. Saab. So if there are any questions from the audience, you can write in the chat box or you can unmute yourself. Anyone wants to discuss or ask anything to Dr. Saab? You can write in the chat box or Dr. Saab, you can look into the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
There's no question. There is no question as such now. Sure. Yeah, somebody asked regarding sleep time, what you said. Oh, I told a lot of things during sleep about sleep. You can go back to the recording. I think the recording will be available, inshallah, on YouTube, right?
The recording will be available. I've given the link to the recording.
Yeah. Please go back to the recording and see whatever you have missed of the lecture. Okay. Will you please share us PDFs? Okay, inshallah, the PDFs I'll send to Dr. Saif, inshallah. So he will share it with you, the PDF, inshallah. And yeah, and for diabetics, what are the tests to do before fasting? That is, yeah, the most important thing is you need to know your HbA1c levels, your fasting and post-lunch sugar levels, and I would also prefer getting a general other tests like CBP and ECG and a few other tests and lipid profiles, electrolytes, LFTs, and creatinines. If you get all these tests, then it will be okay, inshallah. If all these things are normal, then you will not have any problem, inshallah. But the best thing is consult your doctor. See, that's very important. Your physician who is treating you, he will know how much really your body is able to fast or not. Okay, instead of asking some somebody else, better to ask your own doctor. Yeah, regarding diabetic patients, there are risk categorizations about fasting. Actually, Dr. Altaf had last year given a very good lecture on this at the Shifa Hospital. I was there in the lecture actually that time, and in that he has given a very nice explanation about the diabetic patients and the categorizations, the risk categories, and adjustment of drugs and all these things. So maybe if you can get that recording from Dr. Altaf of that lecture, and it will be very useful, inshallah, for the physicians and diabetologists. And also online, also there are a lot of criteria there already. And on my blog, also I have a blog actually on which I have a page, full page about Islam and medicine, topics related to medical aspects and Islam. So if on that there is an article about diabetes and fasting. So maybe you can look in that.
Dr. Sir,
Yeah.
if you can share your number in the chat box, I think many people want to consult with you. So they can contact directly. I think that will be the best. If you can share your number.
My number. Okay. Yeah, I have put the number in the chat box. But please don't ask specific personal regarding treatments and all that, because uh, your personal doctor who is treating you will be always better to guide you about that. The general things I can just guide you, and particularly things related to where Islam and Islamic rulings and fiqh rulings about fasting, various aspects and all that, you can ask me. Inshallah, I'll be of help in that.
Yeah. So I think
Somebody
since
asked,
we have,
yeah, somebody asked regarding kidney stones. Yeah, again, kidney stone patients, they have to consult their urologist and try to see why they have stones, and if there is there any metabolic disease they are having due to which they are forming stones more, what medications they can take to prevent stone formation. And generally, what is advised is you take around 4 liters of water in 24 hours for preventing the stone formation during Ramadan. So you need to drink a lot of water from the Iftar to Sahar time. Throughout the night, you need to drink at least 4 liters of water to prevent stone formation. Apart from that, you need to avoid a high protein diet and diet rich in oxalate and other things. So again, you consult your own urologist, take proper consultation and take advice. Okay, because see, your health is very important during Ramadan. If you are sick, you won't be able to fast, and for that, you need to take time off, go and visit your doctor, and take a proper personalized consultation and medical advice. That is very important. Okay. Yeah, somebody is asking me the blog site, any link. Uh, I'll send the blog link to Dr. Saif, and he will share with you, inshallah, in the group.
Dr. Can you write the blog link here itself in the chat that everyone knows it?
It's a little bit long, so. Yeah, this is the link, the islamicreality.blogspot.com. In this, there are multiple pages. In one page is dedicated to Islam and medicine. So just click on that page, Islam and medicine articles. Then you will go to that page with all the articles linked to Islam and medicine. Also for doctors, I have a YouTube channel actually, and on that I keep posting my various videos, various lectures which I give in the doctors and medicos regarding various aspects of medical practice and Islam and other things. You can also search for that. I have last Ramadan I had given lecture. Last just before Ramadan I had given a lecture about medical fiqh of fasting. So if you search in the go in the YouTube medical fiqh of fasting, Dr. Habeeb Haris. So with this, if you search, then you will get my channel also, and then from there you can subscribe it and you can see all other videos about various aspects of medicine and other things. Inshallah.
Okay, Jazakumullah khair, Dr. Sam. I think we can close with this. And thanks everyone for joining. Inshallah, we'll keep on having further sessions, inshallah. So with this, we end this meeting. Assalamu alaikum.